It's Friday. Hello and welcome to Enews Direct. I'm Duduzile Ramela. Here are the stories we're tracking for you this evening. Gareth Cliff wins the right to return to idols. A Kwazulu-Natal community defends its mayor for the so-called virgin bursaries. Of course, you can have a say on any of our stories. Do find us on Twitter and Facebook. Go and look for Enews Direct and our hashtags this evening, Gareth Cliff and Virgin Bursaries. And it's Gareth Cliff that leads the bulletin tonight. He's won back his place on the Idols judging panel. Today it was decided in court that Mnet had unfairly dismissed him. Cliff's lawyers have described his sacking as one of the worst forms of discrimination.
Caroline Nichols has ordered an interim relief and reinstatement of Idols judge Gareth Cliff. She says, based on the arguments and communique brought before her, a contractual agreement did indeed exist between the two parties.
The communication between the parties, as well as their conduct, is supportive of Cliff's contention that a contractual relationship between Mnet and Cliff existed. He has therefore made out a prima facie case for temporary reinstatement. The contractual relationship between the parties is reinstated to what it was on or about the 6th of January 2016.
According to the judgment, there was a tacit agreement that Cliff would be an Idols judge, that both parties conducted themselves as though Cliff's position as an Idols judge was a foregone conclusion. It also says there is no factual basis that the Idols brand would suffer if Cliff were to be reinstated on a temporary basis. And Cliff's value as a judge has been his tendency to shock and provoke. A thrilled Cliff has broken his silence, speaking to the media for the first time.
We're thrilled. Obviously, I think from here we're going to have to read through it properly, and we will have a press conference tomorrow.
His legal representatives say they've always been confident about the case, adding it's a big day for human rights.
This case indicates that everyone is equal before the law. It also indicates that human rights are human rights. We do not have black human rights or white human rights. Cliff
is expected to hold a press conference on Saturday, fleshing out what exactly he'll be doing with his own legal golden ticket. Nondabego Spisi, Johannesburg.
It's been a week that has seen constitutional experts and human rights groups outraged over the virgin bursaries being offered by the Utukela municipality. However, members of the community and the young women involved say they support the program. Today, the Commission for Gender Equality was in the town speaking to the mayor behind the bursary scheme.
Tubelishlesh Lotlo will be studying further this year. Her studies are paid for by an Utukela municipality bursary, reserved exclusively for virgins. She says her choice to abstain is a personal one.
Something that's come from my heart. Still, no one forced me, but I asked my mom, "This mom, I love to do what about checkings and virginity." Then she said, "No, you can go because this will make your life to be easy and proud of yourself. I don't care what other people are saying about my life. It's my life and it's my choice."
The entire 3 million rand bursary scheme is not only for virgins. There are 3 other categories which don't require applicants to be maidens. And local officials say the funding scheme merely rewards a cultural practice that already exists.
If they come back and they go to the camp, they will be tested. So it happens regularly. It's not controlled by the municipality. We're not part of it, but we are supporting them.
There may be outrage in other parts of the country, but here in eNCA, where some of the recipients are from, it's a different story. This community has jumped to the mayor's defense.
The mayor didn't point a gun or a knife to anyone to say you must do this or do that.
We are disappointed that people are criticizing the mayor when she does such good work. We don't think she made a mistake.
The Commission for Gender Equality is probing the maiden bursary scheme, following complaints from political parties and some members of the public. Desan Thathia, Ladysmith, Kwazulu-Natal.
Cosatu President Stumo Dlamini says officials in the presidency have lied to the nation. He believes it's a plot to sabotage President Jacob Zuma. His startling comments come amid a standoff between the Union Federation and government over the new pension tax laws. A special meeting of Cosatu's Central Executive Committee has been planned for next week.
It is critical that Cosatu wins this battle.
It's no longer just a fight for workers' access to their full pensions upon retirement. It's now an all-out battle for survival and credibility. Cosatu's ally, the ANC, is trying to play referee, facilitating dialogue between National Treasury and the Labour Federation. But those efforts aren't helped much, according to Cosatu, by statements like the one issued by the presidency on Wednesday, in which it insisted that Labour had been consulted extensively before the new law was passed.
A functionary in the presidency undermines even the logic that the president presides over that meeting of the NEC of the ANC and has taken this position that I've just outlined. They issue that statement. It's aimed to sabotage the president.
And the statement's contents an absolute fabrication, according to Dlamini.
That statement itself is a lie. They know very well that there were no such meetings that they are talking about.
Save for some minor concessions, Cosatu's already lost battles against government over e-tolling, labor brokers and the youth wage subsidy, raising the stakes even higher. Thulasizwe Simelane, Johannesburg.
Well, the presidency and Treasury are yet to respond to Cosatu's claims, despite several attempts to obtain their comment. In other news, times may be tough, but South Africans have shown amazing generosity in helping those whose taps have run dry. Operation Hydrate delivers water to drought-affected areas. So far, more than 60 million rand has been raised.
Civil society coming together to lend a hand to those whose taps have run dry. The campaign, Operation Hydrate, had set itself the target of raising 10 million rand by Sunday. And that target has been achieved sixfold, with companies, NGOs and ordinary South Africans donating in their numbers.
This is far beyond our expectation. It's things like this that drive us to continue getting water to people that need it the most.
Earlier this month, the NGO distributed 300,000 litres of water in Swart Regens in the northwest, after the municipality admitted that it could not meet the needs of the residents.
It has absolutely broken my heart to see queues and queues of people waiting for water, some of them in tears because they haven't had a drink for a couple of days.
The Department of Water and Sanitation has lauded the project, saying it offers an important backup to government's efforts.
We are refurbishing boreholes, we are building additional dams, we are redirecting water in areas where water is in excess and redirecting it to areas where there is a need for additional water.
How old was President Nelson Mandela when he died?
95!
How many millions of rands worth of water is the target for Mandela Day?
95!
Zikona Chona, Johannesburg.
A quick look at world news now, and Syrian peace talks are kicking off in Geneva without opposition groups. Opposition leaders want guarantees that government airstrikes and seizures will stop before they come to the talks. The UN envoy is to meet a Syrian government delegation to resolve this. The last round of peace talks broke down 2 years ago. The so-called proximity talks are expected to last for 6 months, with delegations sitting in separate rooms and UN officials shuttling between them. Right, let's take a look at what's hot on social media. And today it was this man, a victorious Gareth Cliff. He was the #1 trend on Twitter for most of today after the South Gauteng High Court ruled in his favor in his wrong dismissal case. But the main talking point was this photo doing the rounds. We asked you to use the hashtag Enews Direct and send us your caption. Here are the top 3. Desiree I saying, when two worlds collide, and saying we trash them. And Juan T saying, devil's advocate and the pauper. Another biggie on social media, FW de Klerk and the DA have denied the Mail and Guardian's claims that Mmusi Maimane is being guided by the former president. The DA leader even going as far as saying he labelled the report as an outrageous lie. In fact, you can find that story on eNCA.com. While you are on the site, don't forget you can watch the repeat of tonight's show on eNCA.com/direct. Welcome back. Money Matters now, and more South African businesses are turning to banks for funding. Data from the Reserve Bank shows that demand for credit in the private sector ticked up 10.28% year-on-year in December. The increase is mainly attributed to a rise in credit extension to corporates, which comprises 52.4% of total credit. Credit extension to households was more subdued, decreasing to 4.5% in December. That's from 4.6% the month before. Good news for some, as the Department of Energy has announced an adjustment to fuel prices in February. The price of petrol will rise by 6 cents per litre, while diesel will drop by 62 cents per litre. The cost of paraffin is also set to drop by 79 cents per litre. And with that, let's see how the markets perform today. All right, let's check in with the Weather Center now. Here's Candice.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather Centre on Friday, where we're still expecting a few showers over the extreme northeastern parts on Saturday. Thunder showers are forecast over the southeastern interior, with one or two still popping up as we head towards the northwest. It'll be a sunny and sizzling hot day over the western and southern part of South Africa, with an advisory for heatwave conditions over the Cape Winelands, the West Coast District and the Karoo all the way through to Monday. You'll see a dry and hot day for KwaZulu-Natal on Saturday, 35 degrees for Pietermaritzburg and Richards Bay, Ulundi topping 37. We're also expecting dry weather for much of the Eastern Cape, other than a few thunder showers, and you'll see hot weather over the interior with highs well into the 30s and a sunny forecast along the coast with a maximum temperature of around 30. Here's where we can expect that scorching hot weather with highs of around 40 degrees over the interior part of the Western Cape, partly cloudy at 30 for George, in the mid-30s for Cape Town and Longabon, both with a sunny forecast. 43 degrees for Vredendal. We keep in the low 40s as we head towards Uppington and Prieska, 38 for Springbok and R. You'll see a dry forecast over the Western Free State with a hot day in store, but with a few thunder showers over the eastern parts. Harrismith with a high of only 28 degrees. Maximum temperatures peak in the low and middle 30s for the northwest with the possibility of thunder showers. Things remain dry over the extreme eastern parts though, with highs in the mid-30s. We're forecasting a few showers for Zanin and Palabor with a dry day throughout the rest of Limpopo. Temperatures remain hot over this part of South Africa. Partly cloudy at 34 for Bombela with some drizzle for Skukuza at 36. And you'll see a mostly sunny and warm day for the Mpumalanga Highveld. In Gauteng, mostly sunny and dry weather is forecast on Saturday. 30 degrees for Johannesburg and Pretoria topping 33. Excellent forecast takes us into Sunday, where you'll see another hot day across the country, but a particularly hot day over the western parts. Thunder showers settle in over the central part of South Africa right the way through to Monday, where the hot weather continues across South Africa. That's all from the Weather Centre for now. Have a lovely weekend.
Right, here's what's coming up after the break. A little bit of beefcake for a Friday night. Cosmopolitan magazine reveals who's been voted South Africa's sexiest man of 2016. Welcome back. The sexiest man in the country has been announced, and no, it's not Sandile.
The model and musician Andries Porgeta has beaten 11 other hunks to grab the 2016 title.
Cosmopolitan magazine editors have searched the country far and wide for South Africa's sexiest of men. And with the help of your votes, it's come down to these 12 hunks. My.
Now they're flexing their pecs, showing off their moves, all for the bragging rights that come with this award.
What exactly does it take to be one of South Africa's sexiest men?
Well, what was quite nice is we got chosen at random, so it's quite a privilege.
But I'm sure it's a lot more work than what it looks like.
I'm still trying to get it right, the whole dieting aspect and the discipline when it comes to eating. Getting there.
I think you need to be celebrating men that know how to take care of their bodies, men that know how to take care of themselves, men that are healthy, men that understand the importance of looking good and feeling good.
It may look like fun, but there are a whole lot of muscles here. How do you judge this much testosterone in one room?
You know, confidence is key. We love chivalry. We like a gentleman. We like someone that's a bit cheeky. We like someone that has an opinion. They need to have something to say. You got to tick like a whole lot of boxes.
And the winner is
I think it's a lot of commitment. You need to be humble and you need to have a lot of followers, definitely. Because obviously, I don't know how else you could get on top of Cosmopolitan. So I take off my shirt.
Oh, he's even asking.
Nontobeko Sibisi, Johannesburg.
A reminder of the day's top stories now, and Gareth Cliff wins the right to return to idols. A Kwazulu-Natal community defends its mayor for the so-called bursaries for virgins scheme. And that's a wrap from the eNews Direct team for the week.
Yep, Rhythm City's up next. We're back on Monday.
Indeed. Remember, you can share your views with us. Do send us an email to enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
You can, of course, just chat to us on Twitter and Facebook, and our handle is @eNewsDirect.
Until Monday, have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.